Humanity is in the process of shifting into an age of enlightenment. This means we are evolving into an experience of what's called creator consciousness. So, what does this mean? We're making the transition from understanding ourselves as being finite, individualized, separate beings, and transitioning into an awareness of ourselves as being infinite and being connected to everything in our reality. In the video I posted yesterday, I made the point that there's one answer to three key existential questions. Those questions being, who am I? Who is God? And what is the true nature of reality? And I said that the answer to all three of these questions is divine consciousness. These concepts can't be separated. The answer leads you back to the same point. And as humanity starts to awaken out of this spiritual coma, out of this slumber, this zombie state of having thought ourselves to be very limited, very singular, and instead realizing and awakening to the fact that actually I've been so much more powerful and been so much more interconnected in my reality this whole time. I just didn't realize it. So we're stepping into our infinite nature and our infinite awareness. But the question becomes, what does this really mean? And there are some amazing insights that I want to share with you about how this is going to change your whole understanding of reality and how reality is generated. So the key thing to understand here is that if you are divine consciousness and your reality is made up of divine consciousness, then these things are interconnected. They are not separate. So I'm saying that you have the ability to alter, to change, to rewrite your physical reality at will. Now, how is this possible? We have to understand that our physical external reality is a simulation of divine consciousness. It is a simulated experience that we are generating. And with that understanding, we can step into our mastery of deciding what kind of reality it is that we want to create, that we want to experience. So let me talk you through the steps of how we go from consciousness into creating and generating what we experience as being something external to us, something physical. So the very first place that this process starts is with our thought energy, so our thoughts. Each thought that you have is energy created. It is creative in its nature. And as these thoughts build in momentum and build in power, there's a step-by-step process that then manifests them physically and externally so that those thoughts can be reflected back to us, turning our physical reality into essentially a consciousness mirror. So everything we're experiencing outside of ourselves, there's a bug in my mouth, is actually something in our own energy field that is being revealed back to us. And this is so empowering to realize this, because with this understanding that our external, seemingly separate reality is actually something that is being generated by our own internal energy field and energy system, our thoughts. This means we have the power to alter and change reality at will. Now, the thoughts that we have, it's not just of the third dimensional conscious mind. This is where you have to have an awareness of multi-dimensional levels of reality, which are different levels of your identity and your soul energy. So the first dimension of reality is what we refer to or experience as the unconscious, which is body consciousness. This is where ancestral patterns are being stored. So we're talking about ancestral trauma that you have inherited. Then we have the second dimension. This is the subconscious, or what we experience as being subconscious. It's another layer of reality. And in here, this is all of the childhood conditioning or thought patterns that we have created in the past that we don't realize that we're living out by every day. And then we have the third dimension, the rational mind, the reasoning mind, the mind that we think with and hear with. So we have to include these multi-dimensional layers of our consciousness and our thoughts to be able to basically dig out where are the thoughts resonating, where do they exist that I'm experiencing out in my physical reality, to understand, okay, what do I need to change in order to change what's being manifested. So this information package, this data, is essentially being stored inside of our cells, inside of the body. Oh God, I'm going to sneeze. And what happens is the thought forms, the energy as thoughts, which is being stored inside the cells, gets processed through our DNA, which acts almost like a projector, which then creates the experience, the illusion, the projection of physical reality around us. So let me explain this using a metaphor that people will be familiar with. Think of it like how an old cinema would project the images from a film strip. There's a bug in my mouth. So the thought forms that we have, which might be subconscious or conscious or ancestral traumas, these thoughts are like the images of the film that are being stored on the film strip. So it's the actual storyline that we're living in from those images equates to the thought forms that we have floating about in our energy field. This is the story effectively that we're carrying around with us energetically in this like hamster ball around us that we haven't realized has been there. So those images are printed onto the film strip. Now the film strip is playing the role of your cellular memory, your actual cells of your body, which are acting almost like a hard drive or a memory stick where the information and the data is being stored. Now this film strip with these images is being played through a projector. This is the role of the DNA. The DNA takes the information from the hard drive, from the cells, from your energy field, and is projecting it out. And this projection is sent out onto the cinema screen. And the cinema screen that we're experiencing is physical reality. Now, with this understanding of how the illusion of physical reality is being generated, what this allows us to do is reverse engineer the process to alter things according to what we do wish to experience. When you understand and embody the awareness that reality, what you're experiencing, is actually my own thoughts being manifest and reflected back to me, you can start to interpret reality as a diagnostic system. It's like diagnosing your own energy field. So if there's something in your external reality where you're feeling like, oh, I don't like that, or that's not fun, that's not what I want to experience, or there's a better way of doing this, then these are the areas that you're going to need to go to work at to alter inside your energy field. Your reality is reflecting this back to you in a physical way. It's reflecting back all of the energies that you are actually holding. There are many parallels I've realized in understanding this process of how the divine consciousness is generating the illusion of physical reality. There are many parallels with the way that AI systems work. So I'm going to refer to some AI terminology, which I think will be helpful for some people who perhaps feel wary of spirituality or spiritual terms, but yet feel more confident or want to lean more into technology or scientific or artificial intelligence terminology. So essentially what I'm saying is there is an algorithm, a set of procedures, a set of rules that is creating the simulation of your reality. And like how AI systems work and computers work, following a set of rules, so following an algorithm, we can understand and diagnose what the input being put into our reality is, that's being held as the thoughts, it's being processed by the algorithm, and then we're experiencing external to us. What we can do is use our reality to reverse engineer the algorithm and alter what it is that is being created. This is us stepping into the awakening, the experience of creator consciousness, where we no longer feel victim to our external reality by being in a state of being powerless, by thinking, oh, I can't control what's outside of me, I can't control those other variables. What I'm saying is actually, you have been the one contributing to the generation of it all the time. We just didn't realize it. This is the energy healing process that I created and have used to heal myself. And that is the process called emotional mastery. Emotional mastery is how to use your emotional responses to your reality in order to reprogram the simulation and rewrite what the algorithm is generating around you in your life, in your experiences. And it's really by tuning back into our emotions, the present moment, and really getting deeper and deeper into the sensitivity of how do I feel about this thing, that we can unravel this chain, this series of procedures, this algorithm that we didn't know had been playing out in the background the entire time. By using the understanding of AI and the computer technology, the quantum technology, the multidimensional technology, what is actually revealing to us and reflecting back to us is the divine mechanics of how it is possible for us as an infinite divine consciousness to have an experience of playing out this role of being a finite being, having an experience of being separate and limited in linear time. All of those experiences that we've been having are in fact a part of the simulation, a part of the simulated experience that we created to learn about ourselves, to heal ourselves, to learn how to have mastery over our entire reality. Once you can understand how to reverse engineer your reality from your emotions and alter the very version of the timeline or the very version of Earth that you experience, this changes everything on a personal level. But what we're really doing is breaking into this collective wave of embodiment and gnosis of the fact that we are the ones in control of our reality. And we always had been. It had always been us. All along.